Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards. Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan. Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
So with Shep, we are back. It might be a bittersweet day depending on what happened last night and what side of that you're on, but we'll get into what happened with the Detroit Pistons a little bit later. Usually haircut Thursdays is my thing, but Shep, because I've been out in Maui, out in New York, and I took the time to relax, today was haircut Tuesday, so I apologize. I'm a little bit late, as you will, but I figured I wore the Riley Green to make you feel a little bit better.
Looks good, man.
There you go.
Yeah, Riley Green and company playing down in Atlanta.
You know.
Braves are a good team now.
Yeah, they're tied in the lead with the 20 wins, tied for
With
the
the
most
Dodgers.
in MLB.
That's right.
You know why I know this, right?
Because you love Atlanta.
1,000%. I spent a lot of time.
Acuna.
The Bobby Cox years, man.
Tough to
Smoltz-Glavine.
argue those teams. I'm doing a fundraiser with John Smoltz next weekend, not this weekend, but the following week.
What?
In
Let
Lansing.
me know.
You want to go with me?
The one that got away.
I've never met him.
I would love for you to go with
All
me.
right, say less.
It's in Lansing. I'll pick you up.
Kool-Aid,
That's a conversation that
are
has
these
to
appropriate Kool-Aid or should I take these off?
Oh, man.
You know what? See, kudos to Kool-Aid. First of all, he went through that absolute gut-wrenching night last night.
We did
And he
numbers,
still-
though. Shout out to
he
the people.
Good numbers, and then came in with a smile on his face.
He did.
So it's another good day to be alive. I don't know if it's a great day to be a Pistons fan.
That's where we're at in Detroit sports. It's just a good day to be alive.
I was gonna say,
the
Shep, I
Pistons
feel
took it
you.
out of us.
At least I get to come here and then do the show with my brothers, man, and my fellas.
Amen.
But
I
this
do
is the
love-
ultimate pick me up.
Here's the thing. I love coming in here and seeing so many vibrant, energetic young people who are huge Detroit sports fans. But it just bothers me a little bit that they let a game like last night dictate their entire day.
Yeah.
Move on. There's another game tomorrow. And
You're not one of those?
It
I'm not
is.
one
That's
of those
quick,
guys.
though.
I don't know about
That's a
this,
quick
Shep.
turnaround.
Shep, I can legitimately see you, like, not yelling. You're not a yeller, but I can see, like, I can
yeah.
see a bunch of that. That carries over,
Oh,
doesn't
for
it?
sure. For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to let it ruin my day.
Okay.
I'm not going to come in here and be woe is me. I get a chance to see Sweet Potato Cam. I get to see B-Lad. Kool-Aid brings a smile.
Shout out to B-Lad.
You come in giving love to everybody. I'm not going to let that ruin my day.
Yeah. You
It
shouldn't.
bothered me last night. My wife said calm down a couple of times. So there was some frustration without question. But I'm not going to let
Shep's
it
is
ruin
like,
my
I am human now.
yeah. My wife's like, oh, man, they're not playing too good. No, they're not. No, they're not playing very well, are they? Right?
It's like,
How do you
not
look
now.
at it? Are you going to look at it like, hey, you know what? They were down big, and then they came back. Good for them. Or it ain't enough.
No, it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. It's like when the team got you snapping at your significant other as if she's Jalen Duren. It's not enough, man. I'm sitting here. She's like, hey, babe, how was it? I'm like, it wasn't good. You know what? They lost, sweetie. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you for, opening up the door and being awake. 'Cause you get home at like midnight after
Yeah.
these watch parties. And I was like, man, that was a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a rough one.
It was a rough one. Because, as we said yesterday, this is a team you just don't recognize right now. It's just not who they are.
That's
and
tough.
And that's frustrating for me. And I get that there are a lot of avenues we can blame, and we'll get into that for sure. Yeah. It's just you think you know something. I think this is what frustrates a lot of Pistons fans. You think you know something. A team has revealed itself to you. You like to think you know a sport, and then when that team fails to oblige at the biggest moments, you feel the letdown is more than just a letdown. You feel like you've been duped. And on top of that, when people are telling me regular season doesn't matter,
Right.
that means next year when I get geared up for 2026-27, I'm going to look at almost every single game. As much as I want to say kudos to the Pistons for beating the Spurs, screw Victor Wembanyama, people are going to turn around and say, yeah, but remember last year? It really didn't matter. And I'll have to say, point well taken. Maybe I shouldn't make all that much out of a nice win during a regular season.
Yeah, this is very true. This is why you and I had the conversation about what the regular season is and where to watch it, where to pay attention, where to say, yeah, it's the regular season. It changes in the playoffs. You can point out to some things in the regular season. You in Detroit, you go out on a West Coast trip, you go play L.A., San Antonio, the Clippers while you're out there. You collect 3 wins. That's something to pay attention to. That's not something to sneeze at. That is legit. You go on the road, you get wins, you win against teams that are top 3 in the Western Conference. Those are things you don't sneeze at. The things that you can sneeze at, and I actually did some notes. Shout out to Be Easy doing the notes. I looked at all 60 wins that the Pistons had. I have all 60 wins that the Pistons had, and I looked 100%. I looked at who they beat, how many times, who they lost to. Well, obviously, if they're not on here, then they lost to. But also, who was playing in those games when they got their wins. One thing about the Pistons, J.B. Bickerstaff has done an amazing job of getting them motivated, talking about regular season, getting those guys motivated to play. Both ends of the court. They hustle, the effort, the intention, loose ball fouls, the effort. It's there. You can watch it night in and night out. That's one of the things we're very proud of in Detroit. Not every team plays like that. In fact, 12% of the league plays like that, where they're playing every single possession, every single game. So here you go. When you look at these 60 wins and you start to look at it a little differently, they beat the Wizards 4 times. Is that impressive? No. They beat the Sixers with no Embiid 3 times. No. The Nets 3 times. The Bulls 3 times. The Raptors 3 times. The Pacers 3 times. The Milwaukee Bucks with no Giannis except one of those times. The Hawks before Trae Young. Before he left, he was there. They beat them 3 times. You know what happened when the Hawks got rid and started getting good? They lost to that same Hawks team. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers twice. They lost twice. And those wins they won, no Mobley, no Mitchell, and no James Harden. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they beat them without Julius Randle. They beat them without DiVincenzo the 2 times they played. They beat the Heat with no Butler and with no Mr. 83 points, Mr. Bam Adebayo. The Memphis Grizzlies sucked this year. Houston Rockets, that's 2 good wins. I'll give you that one. They beat Oklahoma City. We watched those games. We know who was playing those games. Nobody. Not one of their 5 starters played in one of those games, and in another game, I want to say they had 1 starter. And then you go down the list. They beat the Utah Jazz. They beat the Dallas Mavericks with no Cooper Flag one of those times. They beat Golden State. Both times Steph Curry was out of that game. They beat the Knicks. No Brunson in one of those wins they had against the Knicks, although it didn't matter because they beat the brakes off the Knicks.
How many times is Detroit getting wins without Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart?
Understood. I'm just going through who they beat and what was going on that side. We can figure that part out later. And then they beat the Nuggets, no Jokic. They beat the Clippers, no Kawhi. They beat Phoenix. They beat the Lakers, no LeBron, although it wouldn't have mattered this year. They beat Portland. They beat Sacramento. They beat the Pelicans and beat the Spurs once with no Wemby. So when you look at it that way, when you look at it, the East is the worst of the 2 conferences. And there are a lot of bad teams in the East. A lot of those 60 wins, when you double them up and you add them up, 37 of those wins came against bad teams that aren't in the playoffs, or they came against teams that didn't necessarily have the
So I love the research. It's fantastic.
To be the man, you got to beat the man.
That's well said.
Woo!
3rd most wins of any team in basketball against teams above 500. They are also a team that went 21-9 against the West.
Right.
So if we're going to look at how good the West is, and you're right, the West is better, but I will say this, one of those Western Conference teams, San Antonio or OKC, is going to get Boston in all likelihood, and that's going to be a hell of a series.
It will be.
Boston can shoot the blood out of the ball. Yeah. But anyway, 21-9 is pretty damn good. It's not as good as OKC, but OKC plays more games, obviously. Yeah. OKC went 41-11 against the West. That's really impressive. You know me, I'm not in a habit of taking away from what a team accomplished, okay? This team has revealed its warts, there's no question. And I think Orlando's done a good job of exposing that. I don't want to take away getting 60 wins and try to, your words, poop all over it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take away from the 60 wins. We're sitting here, everybody's trying to figure out what the F happened to the Detroit Pistons. Like from my mom to the guys at the gym, to the guys at the car wash, to the guy that just fixed my water tank at the house, $4,700. It should have been $9K. Thank you, God.
Shout out.
God is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's asking the same question.
To your hairstylist?
And same. Shout out to JG. So my barber, if you will. My barber.
Sorry.
But it's one of those things where it's not just the thing where the Pistons are losing. They're losing close, and you can point out the little things, or you can say, oh, it's here. It's here. It is completely a shit show. Excuse my French. It is completely a bleep show, and everybody's trying to figure it out. So in trying to find it out, I'm starting looking at all things. I'm looking at the 60 games they won. I'm looking at what the competition level was. I'm looking at the fact that when you look at J.B. Bickerstaff's record in the playoff is 10-22, and when you start to look at the teams and you start to look, he was on some teams that were much better than this Detroit Pistons team and couldn't get out of the first round. Yeah. That adds to it when you start to look at, damn, maybe we really should have pulled that trigger and getting that number 2 guy. When you look at the Orlando Magic, let me take a timeout. Orlando Magic is not a play-in team, by the way.
I agree.
They're a team that was hurt. They're a team that was injured. They didn't necessarily get a chance to have Wagner with Baligian. They're a 3-4 more than they are 8.
Sure.
They're 3-4.
Now, tough draw for sure. Yep.
100%. So when you start to look at that, they got 4 guys that can get their own 25 points. Damn sure have 3 that can get their own 25 points. They don't. They're number 2, which is Jalen Duren for us. They don't need him to have a pick and roll situation. K has to get pick and roll for Jalen Duren to have a really, really, really good night. Yeah. And that's not happening right now. So there's so much to point to. It's so much to point to. K, you're superstar. Our superstar. You can't have 6 turns in the first quarter. Right. That's your favorite stat, the turns.
I hate it.
You can't average 9 turns.
I have said that all year long about him, and I said it last year.
Stopped.
And people cross-eyed at me a little
not
bit.
Anymore,
I get it, because you're asking a lot of him. Yeah. I'm not going to make excuses for him. Okay, the expectations have to be elevated. If we're going to do that with other so-called stars, whether you think Dylan Larkin's a star, Jared Goff's a star, whether you think certain guys are stars, Riley Green, you're wearing his jersey, if you expect bigger things from them because they're an all-star, because of the amount of money they're making, you can do that with other players too, like Cade Cunningham. The only thing I would say to this is I think this is a closer series than people are giving it credit for.
Yeah.
Before last night, through 3 games, Orlando 308 points, Detroit 304. Rebounds, Detroit 138, Orlando 134. Assists, 65 aside. Fast break points, 51 aside. Free throws made, 63-63. Free throws attempted, Detroit 86, Orlando 84. The difference has been Detroit's unwillingness to treasure the basketball. Yeah. And a lot of them are unforced errors.
So what that lets me know is those are mental breakdowns, unfortunately. And when you use the word mental, it's not always a derogatory word. We're not using mental as the space of the other side. We're talking mental in terms of being prepared in a professional basketball atmosphere, being prepared to understand that when you get to the playoffs, the intensity, the heat goes up a little bit. I remember the first time I played in the playoffs. I was in the league for 6 years before I made the playoffs. Made the playoffs, got to the playoffs, heard all this. I heard Alan Faneca tell me, hey, he said, Braylon, man, when you get in the playoffs, he said, be ready, this, that, and the third. I had Professor Thomas Jones, some of the older heads on the team, talking about being in the playoffs. I was like, man, it's football. Yeah. I'm playing football my whole life. I played at Michigan. Like, what are you trying to tell me? The intensity level changes. And those that aren't ready, like I tell you like this.
Do they look like they're not ready?
They do.
The intensity?
They just mentally look shook. Like, they just mentally look shook. They look like they're second-guessing themselves.
I agree.
Stuff that they're...
Tentative?
Tentative, second-guessing. Things that they've done since they were in high school, things that they've been doing in drills and things since middle school. They don't have it right now. Yeah. Like, to your point, it's a very close game. It's a very close series statistically. Right. Minus the one thing in the turnovers, and those turnovers are leading to a lot of points for the Orlando Magic.
Here's the other thing that I've noticed. Like, last night, rather than follow the basketball, like most people do, and I understand why, and usually I do, I tried to focus on just one person for like an extended period of time and another person for an extended period. I just wanted to see what they were doing. And as much as I may like this individual, Jalen Duren, and he's an easy target to hit right now, What has blown my mind is his almost unwillingness to get involved. He's waiting for everything to come to him instead of going to go get it. He's extremely tentative. He looks like it's his first season with a bunch of guys he's never played with before. They look uncomfortable with one another. This team was built on, at least this is what we were told.
Yeah.
They were built on rebounding, on defense, on togetherness, and on selfishness. These are some of the things that Jalen Duren did. So Cam and I put this up here. Tell me if you recognize this player who's going between the legs twice, welcoming a switch, finding an opening, and taking it strong to the rack. I haven't seen that move at all. Then people say, oh, he needs lobs. He doesn't. I'm giving you examples right now I'm not trying to do a Braylon breakdown, but examples right now of him decking, driving, spinning, finishing.
Right.
Is this against teams that don't have any desire to play? It could be. Here's what I do know. He's capable of this stuff.
Yeah.
Why isn't he doing it? A pull-up jumper from 17, money.
Right, because he's nervous right now. Because I don't want to use the word scared. Because he's in a space he hasn't been in. And also, too, when you watch your fearless leader, Shep, you go the way of your leader. You go the way of your coach. When you're Jalen Duren and you understand that's my guy, K's my guy, and everybody's looking for somebody else to do something right now.
Yeah.
That's
a good way to put it.
Everybody's looking for somebody else to do something. During the season, it was always, well, Jalen's got it tonight.
Yeah.
K's got it tonight. Duncan Robinson's got it tonight. Like, everybody found a way to get it through defense and other stuff. And now that's not happening. Jalen Duren's like, I don't want to mess it up because I'm struggling right now. I don't want the ball. That's what happens when you're in space when you tend to be in a rut. It's like, you know what? It's the playoffs. I don't want to be the guy to mess it up. And that's what it feels like right now from this guy. It feels like I don't want to mess this up. So the first 3 possessions of the game, they did old school basketball. They did like they used to do. Tell me I'm lying. The first 3 possessions of the game, it reminded me of not the bad boy era, but the going to work era. They would get Ben Wallace involved sometimes at the beginning, just kind of get him going, just kind of get him settled into the offensive side, and then he can go out there and get you 20 rebounds and get you 8 blocks or do all the things. First possession, kicked it into Jalen, turnover. Second time, turnover. Third time, what did he do, Shep? He kicked it out.
Right.
Turnover, kick out.
Mm-hmm.
So
miss.
Miss what? So turnover, miss, kick out. So realistically, that's where we are. And there's some bigger questions to ask about this. We can stay with the game now, but
I'm frustrated at the decision making. I can't believe. I mean, JB Bickerstaff and his staff have to be going crazy because of the decisions.
Yeah.
So, for example, the easy one is the 3-on-2 break. Cade Cunningham moving left to right, the bounce pass that he feeds Javonte Green that hits him in the shins. It's just it's little things like that.
That's not Cade Cunningham.
That's not Cade Cunningham.
Even the commentators talked about it. They said,
Yeah.
look, they said, and this was well put by the commentators. They said, Cade turns the ball over. It's been a thing.
Yeah.
But he does not make stupid plays. He
Right.
does not make plays like that. That's exactly what they say. They say, we understand he turns the ball over, but not like that. Like, that's not what we're getting out of it. So
I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
I mean, Kool-Aid gave us a little quiz yesterday on our thoughts, and I think I got a D-, which I should have been used to back in my high school days. But Cade Cunningham, through 3 games, had 24 turnovers. That's the most turns in a 3-game playoff span
Not the power
since
stat
they started tracking turnovers in 1978. He joined James Harden as the only players in NBA history with 7 turnovers or more in 3 straight playoff games. And I know they're not all on him.
I think Harden and Bird.
I got just Cunningham and Harden, only players in NBA history with 7+ turnovers in 3 straight playoff games. 3 straight.
I think was also, too, it's one, Jalen Duren hasn't had a stretch like this in 15 months. To find a stretch like this, you got to go back 15 months to him having this many points in 4-game stretch. It's 15 months ago.
Wow.
He's a completely different person.
It's a good one.
He's a completely different player now than he was in those 15 months. One of the things, Kool-Aid, that I think is hindering this as well is when you have a fearless leader. Like, everybody has a fearless leader, whether it's corporations, whether it's team. You can have a guy. When that guy is off his game, when that guy looks human, if you will, like if I'm Jalen Duren or Javonte Green or Tobias Harris thing is still the veteran. He's doing the veteran stuff. But if I'm watching Cade Cunningham get locked up by Franz Wagner, I'm watching him get locked up by Kane, I'm watching Cade Cunningham struggle in spaces where he typically has success, and I can't score either. Like, it's like, damn, like nothing's going right. Like, even our guy is struggling. To watch Cade struggle to get to where he wants to get, Cade doesn't look like the player that he was, and I understand he had the collapsed lung, so maybe some of that is. But if we're just not giving that credence, if we're just talking about what we see, Cade doesn't look sure of himself. And the fact that he's not sure of himself, nobody else on that court, with the exception of Tobias Harris, because he's a 14, 15-year vet, has done it. So he's the only one on the court that's like, nah, I'm good. I can make my shot. I can get here. I mean, he's got some stuff going on too, but no one looks sure of themselves. And if I'm the coach, like J.B. Bickerstaff looks like he doesn't know when to call the timeout, when to change the roster, when to get Beef Stew in the game and implement him and maybe give Doran a rest. Like, everything is going awry. Everybody is off the rails right now. Yeah. Like, that's why when you watch the game and you see Jalen Doran, just look at Jalen Doran. Like, let's just do this. Just look at Jalen Doran. Jalen Doran, 6'10.5", 6'11", swole, looked like he could have played defensive end, looked like Javon Curse a little bit. Sure. The freak coming off the edge. He's an imposing figure. He is an imposing personality. I've been to the games. You've been to the games. You happen to get past him, you like, he's an absolute beast. He's an ox, as they say.
You're a big guy.
Right.
He's a really big guy.
Fail in comparison.
You're right. He's a legitimate 6'10.5", 260 pounds. He's a brick shithouse.
Yep. And they had a 6'6.5" role player dunk on his ass.
Yeah. Which, I get it. That happens. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has been posterized. A lot of guys have.
But not like that.
But not like that. It's the way he has played. He's the guy I watched for, I would say, for a good, full stretch, over 5 minutes at one point. I'm like, where is it? He looks completely unsure of himself. Like, he doesn't know the offense. Like, he's just brand new. Like, he's a baby deer out there with the entire herd and needs protection. He doesn't go after it. He doesn't want to go get it. And I think they were trying. I think Cade Cunningham was legitimately trying. I got to get the big fella going. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's uncertainty. I don't know if it's self-awareness. I don't know if it's intimidation by somebody else. I find it hard to believe that a guy who's that big, that strong, and has done what he did this year can be intimidated by somebody who is less than. But I suppose it happens.
Wendell Carter honestly just looks stronger than him.
He does.
6'11", 270, and I think that's what it is. The man weight, as we sort of say. Hey, that is a real thing. And because when you see Stu against Wendell Carter, you see that Stu can actually box him out and keep him off the glass. I saw Duran, to Braylon's point, when Stu had his flurry and it came out, the very next play, Wendell Carter got a tip in over the back of Duran. And then the next play, you saw him try to fight to keep Wendell Carter back, and Wendell just seemed to have that old man savvy.
Then how did he do so well during the regular season against him? I think it's a gas level. I think it's a give a shit level right now, and I don't see it. And I hate saying that because it's probably unfair. And you know how much I like the guy. But I just don't see a guy who is aggressive to go find the guy he needs to box out and hungry for the basketball. During the regular season, he was hungry. Like, I'm going to show you sons of bitches. You watch how good I am. It's almost like, I'm entitled. I'm done. I've gotten my share. I've got my accolades. I don't have anything to worry about.
I think Orlando, though, is running a really good game plan against him. They're
Jamal,
packing that paint, and they're making sure that he's seeing doubles. They're making sure that they're because we know if they're taking away what he likes to do good, then honestly, for Jalen Duran, he's going to have to go into this offseason and make sure you put in a lot of work. You can't be the biggest player on the court, the most athletic, and you're being held from being able to get at least 2 or 3 dunks in a game where you've been the league's dunk leader for the last 2 years. Like, that's insane. Now you look very, very pedestrian. And, that's where with the Cade turnovers, you guys said something there. Cade knows it's either he helps to facilitate to get some help from his guys, get them going. And I think in that process, this is why sometimes I say, I would rather Cade just say, F all that, go for your 30, go for your 35. I'd rather you come off the pick looking for yours.
He's not getting that either, buddy,
because he's getting the turnovers.
Yeah, but they're locking him up, too.
To a degree.
Franz Wagner was killing him in Game 4.
And 3.
He went 3 for 13 against him.
Yeah.
And 3.
Franz is definitely frustrating them. But
3, I'm sorry.
The best plus-minus in this series, really the best stats across the board in the series do reside with Cade Cunningham. And this is where, when you look at the usage, the overuse, and the fact that nobody else is there, this is what you're going to see turnover-wise. I'm glad that he took responsibility, saying, he needs to reduce those turnovers. But in the grand scheme of
good
things,
for him. You're
he
right.
takes 4 turnovers away. His turnovers didn't even really lead to anything big. You take 4 turnovers away or 5.
But
it's not changing the complexity of this game. If you take Cade away, this team is getting pummeled. And that's where, when you look at the Cade having the second highest plus minus in all of the playoffs, that's where I look at his turnovers, and I have to at least take a step back and put those in a little bit different perspective.
It's a hard sell.
And this is
He's at 50, plus 50 in the playoffs.
This isn't directed to you, but this is where I say, like, the new school stats are skewed.
Yeah.
Like, because you can find a stat that will match what you want, or you can find
You're right.
some level of a stat
We all
to
do it.
help out. We do. 100% skewed in our favor. So when we regurgitate, just like me, I just bought up all these games, 60 games, and it sounded great. And then Shep said, well, if we're going to do that, what about the Pistons
No,
game?
you're
I was like,
right.
yeah, you're right. So we can find stats of skew, and that's a very
I
important
do
one.
think it matters if you're up 50 points in the minutes that Cade Cunningham has played in a series in which you have been able to do nothing. So for me to know if I'm running with that guy and I'm up 50, I can't really talk about the turnovers to the tune above things like J.B. Bickerstaff's adjustments, Jalen Duren going missing, Asar Thompson really no offensive development at all. Danis Jenkins is just hoof.
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole team. And that's where I'm like, okay, yes, I can say, Cade, you got to do better with the turnovers. But if we've all played that game, we already understand what it's going to be when you're that guy with the rest of the team performing this. We've seen this from other big stars. That's why when you look at these records, who do you see in the top 10 of turnovers? Who do you see in the historical annals? He's passing stars. This is what happens sometimes to these types of guys who carry those types of workload.
You're absolutely correct. 3 of those turnovers would have been baskets in the first quarter. 2 of those are right underneath the basket, and one of them is the play that we were talking about. We're like, oh my God, like K doesn't typically do that. Listening to something that Trajan Langdon said, this is like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when he was talking about, we just wanted to see what these young guys have. Like that, we like the young guys, we like the energy on this team. This is why we didn't make big moves. This is the thing. It sounds very similar to what Scott Harris said 2 seasons ago. I want to see what the young guys have. I want to see Riley. I want to see Parker. I want to see what my guys have before we're willing to go get Framber Valdez, before we're willing to go get Bats. Now that we see, now that you know.
Yeah.
And also, too,
They were not good at the trade deadline.
I still cannot believe that we added Duncan and freaking Karis LeVert. That's neither here nor there. You got 4 guys on this team. You have 4 guys on this team. When this season is over, which unfortunately is coming soon. When this season is over, there are 4 guys that should remain on this roster. And everybody else should be traded or sold or overhauled or let go.
Well, I think some of that depends on the role you have for that player.
Would Dennis Jenkins make any other team in his NBA realistically? Would Javonte Green make any other team in his league?
I think
Will we put on Duncan Robinson on any other team, knowing what he was in Miami, knowing that he hasn't done anything in 4 years since he got paid?
Yeah, I think they would. I would prefer him off the bench. Now, the question is, would he be a starter? The answer to that would be no. Would Dennis Jenkins on good teams? You're talking about good teams here, okay? We're not talking about crap teams. Would Dennis Jenkins
Jenkins play for Orlando Magic?
I don't think so. He might be the 3rd point guard. He's not coming off the bench right away like he is in Detroit, and therein lies, I think, the difference. So I would like to keep Duncan Robinson because I want guys who can shoot. All right. However,
shoot it then, Duncan.
Well, yeah. I don't. Well, he shot it enough to make the second most threes.
What has he done in these 4 games?
Detroit history.
What has he done in these 4 games?
He's been about the same.
Yep, he's not a game changer.
He's not a game changer, right? But he will help you spread the floor. We have to understand what they are. If you think he's going to take the place of X, and X is an all-star, then you're in la-la land. That's not happening. Yeah. But I don't think he's a starter. I think he's a guy who can come off the bench and help you. Yeah. You need starting shooters.
Yes.
Okay? This team does not have reserve shooters, let alone starting shooters.
Well, we asked this question at the golf course before the season. I remember
which one? Because Braylon was playing a lot of golf.
Yeah, we talked about can they? We wondered. Can they replace the 3-point shooter that they had last year? Not just Beasley. We looked at the fact that they had Tim Hardaway here, and Dennis Schroeder actually came here and did a little bit of something from behind the arc too. And that was a concern. And was like, okay, cool. So we got Duncan Robinson. We know that he's a shooter. We're not going to say that he's not. But
we
did
said
they
Karis
do
LeVert
enough
was not.
to spread? We knew Karis wasn't.
He's a defensive player primarily.
Yes.
He has never truly been a scorer or a shooter.
Yep.
60 triples made this year. That's it.
And at the trade deadline, we said, what? You got to get more. We still thought this team was good enough to reach certain levels, but we all believed they needed to get more. We sat here for weeks on weeks saying, bring in a Trey Murphy, bring in anybody.
I know.
We even got down to
you
Colin
guys were
Sexton,
shouting
bro.
that from the mountain.
Well, we got Kevin Herter.
Yeah. So I mean,
Too soon.
So
No, it's not. No, it's actually right on time.
It's right on
it's actually
time.
perfect timing.
It's right on
The only
time.
thing I would say, just real quick, with the Cade Cunningham stuff,
snap.
and don't get me wrong, it's not that we don't appreciate him. I want him running my team any day of the week. But if we're going to use a comparison with players in our Detroit bubble, okay, Jared Goff's going to be compared to Matt Stafford, going to be compared to all these other. I'm going to compare him to the best of the best. And when this is probably unfair to him, but I'm going to say it anyway. When Jokic is going for a triple-double last night, his 23rd of his career in the playoffs, his 221st of his career combined the playoffs and the regular season, and he's a plus 25. Okay, that's a guy getting it done. Now he's got better help with Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray. There's no question about that. When you got Jason Tatum going out there and he's a plus in the 20s, okay, and he's giving you 30, 11, and he has 4 turnovers. When SGA, 31 points and a
42
plus
the other
21. He had 2 guys have double-doubles last night, Hartenstein and Holmgren, so he's got more support.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. My point is, if you want to be compared to the best, thank you, Kiss, you want the best, you got the best. We think we've got the best.
Yeah.
How many times did somebody say he's an MVP? MVPs don't turn the ball over 27 times in a series.
I am not going to give you any pushback. I am going to give you assistance. 2 years ago, at the All-Star game, Kool-Aid was there. They're interviewing Cade Cunningham, and they ask him, "Who's the face of the NBA?"
Yeah.
And he very humbly, I had to say humbly, because he is definitely one of the most humble people.
You checked with Pistons PR on the side.
Check with the PR for the Pistons. Is it okay if I say myself?
Yeah.
And he said yes. If you believe you are the face, then you got to be different. Mm-hmm. There has to be different intensity. And this isn't me yelling at Cade. I'm a Detroit Pistons fan, like through and through. Bad boys, blah, blah, blah. If you say you're the face, if you say you can be the face, you have to do face stuff. When I'm watching you in the paint, look at potentially getting a rebound, seeing who's sorting it out, and you're not doing it, get the rebound.
Right.
Did you know exactly what
Yeah,
play
I know
I'm talking
exactly
about.
what you're talking about.
I'm
He just stood there.
He
and
just
watched it.
stood there.
He looked like Cam Newton in the Super Bowl with a fumble. There it is.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. So
Look, I don't care how many times you're on the cover of Slam Magazine, GQ, or whatever. I don't give a rat's ass about that.
This comes with that.
It does
This
come
comes
with it.
with
But
that.
that's what we all were all like, oh, man, isn't this great? Woohoo, fantastic. You know what I care about? I care about, first of all, helping him.
Yeah.
Because he
So-
needs some help and he deserves some help. That's first and foremost. But second of all, this is 2 playoff series in a row. And I know it's hard to be consistent. For God's sakes, it really is. 2 playoff series in a row where he has not been at his best. So we can look at other guys, and they deserve to be criticized. There's no question. Duncan Robinson, Jalen Duren, a lot of guys, right? J.B. Bickerstaff.
J.B. Bickerstaff,
But
for sure.
Cade Cunningham will shoulder, because he's a really good leader, will shoulder some of that, and deservedly so.
Yeah.
It's not the main reason, but he's part of the reason.
And he deserves criticism at the top. You're right. It's what we do for our stars, whether it's fair or not. And
That's right.
With the turnovers, it is the first thing you're going to look at. I'm glad to hear him also state that. too,
We
but
do
that's
that
where-
without them being
Yeah.
stars, Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
People criticize Spencer Torkelson, and for good reason. Why? He wasn't good. Okay? There's other guys in the sports in this
Jared
realm.
Goff.
For sure.
Like Jared Goff is constant. Like he's probably the number one hot button in this city.
Well,
It's
yeah, a lot of quarterbacks are. What did we say about Aiden Hutchinson?
Oh.
I don't care about the
I
No,
want
I'm
to see
serious.
You. I don't care about the pressures. I want to see you on the field. I want you to show up in the tape. I want to feel your presence through the TV.
And what did you say? You said
Jack
you signed-
Campbell, yes.
You
Aiden
signed
Hutchinson sometime.
You signed a contract like that. This is what you said. You signed a contract like that. Then this is what I expect. I expect you to. I could have knocked this off. Yeah, sorry about that. You said,
Hey, get fired up.
my bad.
Oh, we gotta take-
Get fired up.
You said you sign a contract like that. Then
you're
you
right.
got to be. You got to show up
You gotta
on a
be
regular
accountable-
basis.
You got to be accountable for what comes with that. Like you have to you have to be accountable because, once you sign that contract, you're putting yourself in a different part of the league. You're putting yourself at the top, and with the top, the cream rises to the top. But guess what? Heavy is the head.
I was gonna say, and I won't remove the the expectation from him. It comes with being the superstar. You're the guy on the face of everything. But that's where I'm glad you guys preface it with the help, because I do believe that's a direct correlation. I believe you get him what we all asked for at the trade deadline. This way you got to look at Trajan Langdon from a personnel standpoint and JB Bickerstaff from a standpoint of the lineups you're running, because some of them make us all scratch our head. I think that Isaiah Stewart need a little bit more.
What's that lineup? What's the bothersome when Jalen Duren plays 31 and Stewart plays 17? That's a problem.
That's a problem.
Okay. When Paul Reed
that is a problem,
doesn't get off the bench, that's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Dennis Jenkins should not play any longer. If you want to throw, I'm not saying he's the solution, but if you want to throw in Marcus Sasser, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. But there are certain moves, like everyone's talking about the length and all this, how many deep we go. I don't care, man. I want 8 guys, 8 solid dudes who are going to help me. 8 or 9 solid dudes. That's all you need.
Yep.
And they have been. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that Paul Reed didn't play last night. I don't care about Ron Howard. I don't think Ron Howard.
Ridiculous. Yeah, Paul Reed. Yes, 100%. You can't have Paul Reed not playing a series where they're stacking the front court, packing the paint, beating you in rebounds, beating you in offensive rebounds. Paul Reed's one of those guys that we know brings that energy, but it's not just the energy. He has a skill set too. And that's where it's a little bit disappointing. We've seen Paul Reed go out there and actually set efficiency records on the Pistons team this year. That's where it just makes you think a little bit where offense is at a premium. I would like to be able to see that. And it was cool to see Isaiah Stewart go out there as one of the players that we said we want to see step up, because we know he can kind of hit from behind the arc and things. Yeah. You need more of a dose of Stu, more of a dose of Paul Reed. It's what this series has called for from the beginning.
Agreed.
They said it since game one. They're packing in the paint, and then you don't play a guy who understands how to play that way. Yep.
So
I just don't get it.
3 things. Thing one, side note, I had you back in the chat last night. You like I jumped in?
Yeah.
Right on time?
Yeah, you were a good man.
Shout out.
It was fun. I don't like when people say L take, because I think when people say L take is very diminishing to a conversation that's just chill. We're in a group chat last night with Woodward Sports. They're watching the game. We're watching the game. They're commenting. And someone made the comment after what Shep said about, sometimes Beef Stew's energy is too emotional. That's an L take right there. So I jumped in. I said, yeah, I got 10 games missed that would say otherwise. 1,000% you saw it again.
Yeah.
But as it relates to that, how much of this team from January till now has played together? And the reason why I'm saying that is because how much time was missed, whether it was 6, 7, 8 games by this person, 6 games by this person collapsed lung, he misses this time. Mm-hmm. So now you have these spaces where they play completely different teams at times in January till now. Does that matter? Does that help out? Is that anything? Or is it like, nah, that doesn't matter? This team knows each other. They practice together.
But Asar and Danis play different when the lineup is different.
They look different. They look like they haven't played together. They look like they haven't gelled.
Asar looks better when K is not in the lineup.
100%.
Just being honest.
Also, too, down the stretch, please hit the free throws. Like down the stretch, and this is my thing.
I was banging my head on a wall.
Not everybody can make free throws. I get it. NBA, it's a new league. They don't practice free throws like they used to, so whatever. But at least look like you want to. Like when Asar went to the free throw line, Asar Thompson went to the free throw line like, I know I can't make these free throws. I don't even know why they called the foul. Shit, I ain't going to make it. Like, sure, give me the ball. All right, bet. Here we go. Dribble up. Oh!
It's crazy when we can call it, bro. You can call it, too. You can see them. Like, bro, they about to split this.
Like,
and you can feel it.
And then it was 0 for 2, and then K split. So, like, it's
all down the stretch. Like, that was frustrating, man. That was just too many things that you could control yourself that you didn't. And then the things that you walked into the series saying, this is what we do well. We own the paint. We know who we are. And now you got Orlando going in there. And you know what they did? From game one, they attacked you at your strengths.
Yeah, I cannot have Isaiah Stewart making as many threes as Duncan Robinson.
Like, that is wild.
I called that yesterday.
Like, you had no rebounds,
You can't,
but he had a
He was
three-point
gonna hit
range.
some threes.
You can't do that.
That's
that
crazy.
Makes absolutely no sense.
It's just tough too, like when you're in the playoffs, like because if you
mind-boggling.
look at the Orlando Magic, you look at De Silva, or you look at Black, or you look at any of the guys that are secondary, from 4 down to 7 or 8, they know they got Franz Wagner. And if Franz isn't going to make the play, Banchero is going to make the shot because he's the guy on that team, to be honest. Or Desmond Bain. And Banchero knows if my shot isn't falling, which it has not been in the last 2 days, where is he going to get? Get to the lane, get to the cup, make the free throw. Like, when you know you got those guys, like Desmond Bain, you want to tell me playoff experience doesn't matter? He's tapped into when they were in Memphis and he was lighting it up. And his boys were at the game, and we saw that. So when you got guys like that where you're like, oh, shoot, you know.
He sees red when he sees
I
the
don't
Pistons.
have to be as nervous to take a shot. De Silva shot 2 air balls. Back to back. Shout out to El DeBar's looking like he legitimately.
That was really funny in the chat.
They're too young. Shep, it's like me, you, Stick, like Neil, maybe.
I was laughing my ass off
big
at that.
musician,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But
That was really
De
good.
Silva shot 2 air balls. And guess what he did? He didn't feel nervous. He didn't say, oh, shoot, well, Paulo's not shooting, so I don't want to shoot another one. Well, Franz is struggling. He's getting ripped. I don't want to shoot another one. Well, Desmond's no, what he did was shot another one.
Yeah.
And it went in.
Yeah.
Nothing but the bottom of the cup.
Right.
Because it was after Banchero hit just all backboard.
But Carroll threw up an air ball.
He threw up some BS.
That might be the game plan sometimes.
Dude,
Let him shoot.
Let him shoot.
Let him
Agreed.
In all
It was like
seriousness,
clank,
clank. You just lost a game where you held the opposition to 33%. Their best player, Paolo Banchero, went 4 for 18 and 0 for 4 from deep, and Jalen Suggs went 1 for 13.
You can't lose that game.
That's what you lost last night.
We beat ourselves.
You can't lose that game.
This reminds me of when Michigan lost to UCLA in the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. Like, UCLA played one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life, and they beat Michigan by 8. Like, you can't, but not thinking about Michigan, you cannot have that happen. But on the opposite side, if you're a role player, you're just a player, and you're seeing it happen, but you know you got guys that are still coming through, you don't feel as nervous. Like, it's not as much on you. Like, for the Pistons, when you're watching Cade struggle, my superstar has 5 turns in the first quarter. Yeah. Jalen Dorn's out there doesn't know what's going on. He gets banged on. You miss one shot, you're like, I don't want to shoot. Every time Dennis Jenkins got the ball, I said, Lord have mercy. Pass the ball. But here's the problem. Who you going to pass it to? Because you're trying to turn Tobias Harris into a three-point shooter. Tobias Harris can shoot. Not threes.
Yeah.
Like, he'll make some threes, but he's not a three-point specialist is what I'm saying.
And he was finding success in the middle of that paint.
Hey, it looked really good, too. Some of the back downs is back to the basket. But it's interesting to watch.
So
Y'all preaching, man. Y'all preaching.
Yeah, it's hard to let anybody skate in this series right now if they're in a Pistons uniform. And that can be a good thing because a lot was expected of them. We will talk about J.B. Bickerstaff on the other side and question a few things. And I think this is I'm excited to get your guys' take on this. Is it the flaws in the roster, or is the roster flawed? I want you to think about that for a minute. We'll get to that on the other side here on the Braylon Edwards Show. Top of the hour, which is coming up quickly, by the way. I didn't even realize it. I thought it was 2:13. It's 2:43. Is Braylon's breakdown of Jimmy Rolder. Super pumped for that. That's coming up. Let's hear from Ben Johnson and Art Jakes.
Whoo! Let me
Fire
tell you
segment.
about Ben Johnson and Art Jakes. I'll tell you about Ben Johnson. He is the fighter. Let him fight for you. BENfights.com. That's where you go. He's a trial attorney, so it doesn't matter. He wants all the smoke. Settlement and verdict. It will happen. It will get the result and the decision that you want. He and his team have been doing this for a very long time at a very high rate. So come on in. Let that guy represent you, because Ben Johnson Law, he is the guy.
Cinco de Mayo is a really good episode on Seinfeld. It's also a really cool holiday where you can eat really well and drink really well. And Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, is where the heavyweights will celebrate a little bit of Tigers Watch Party. They're going to have that at Art and Jake's in Northville. Make sure you swing by 5 o'clock as they broadcast live, watching the Tigers and Red Sox square off with you, watching all the 80 wall-to-wall big screen TVs, having a few cold ones, 22 different types of beers on tap for you, and great food. Art and Jake's. You don't need Cinco de Mayo. You don't need the heavyweights, but it's fun to have them all together next week there in Northville.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive. Thrive.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them, and that's not very nice.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. That's right. We had a little woo-saw moment with back calm. You know where you need to find your calm at? It's at the gym. That's at Planet Fitness. There's no judgment here. You come on down, march to the beat of your own drum, and we'll get you in this way.
Loud noises.
Right. The gym is squeaky clean. There's no judgment 100%. I hear the loud noises, but I'm still flowing, baby. You know, I got something. You got something. Hey, man, I'm getting my Vince Vaughn on for Wedding Crashers. Over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations. It's the gym for you. So come on in. Have a good time, get a good workout in, continue your journey, and do it at Planet Fitness.
And they tell good people about Loom too, man.
Yeah, tell them about Loom before I jump the gun like I did yesterday.
I know, right? Let me go.
Where you were going like this.
Woodward Sports is taking over the Loom Cannabis in their massive new Buffalo grand opening event, Saturday and Sunday. What Saturday and Sunday? This Saturday and Sunday, May 2nd and 3rd. We're taking 30% off the entire store. The entire store. Scan that QR code above my head. 200 free goodie bags for the first 200 customers. Your chances to win a PS5, Xbox S, or a big screen TV 3 times daily. See, I ain't at that part. 3 times daily, you have a chance on those 2 days. That's, do the math on that. I'll let you figure that out. Come see us the heavyweights Saturday and on Sunday. Now, catch the heavyweights again as they announce the winner of a $5,000 weekend getaway for 2 to Tulum, Mexico. It is going to be amazing. Chance to win a trip to Mexico. You see it on the screen now. Chance to win a trip to Mexico. Chance to win an Xbox S, PS5. A lot of gifts. 30% off the store. Sounds like the place for you. Come to New Buffalo. Loom. They're doing it the right way.
Let's go.
Speaking of doing it the right way, you want to drink the right way? Here's the way to drink the right way. Go to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea.
Pistons fans, listen up.
A 4-pack, a 6-pack. Yeah, you may need it a little bit more. No bubbles. Just a clean, crisp sip that's not going to fill you up, only 100 calories, but it still has 4.5% alcohol. It's good for whatever sport you may be watching and whatever food you may be eating, as long as you drink responsibly.
And we back.
Good back with you here on the Braylon Edwards Show, Monday through Friday, 2 till 4. I was listening to a podcast yesterday. Jeff Teague said the Pistons need...
Jeff Teague's a funny dude.
Yeah, he said... they need another scorer. What they ought to do is they should trade for Kevin Durant. I'm like, oh my God. Please no. Please don't put that in anybody's mind right now.
I feel like Kevin Durant's actually, he's one of my favorite players offensively in terms of as an offensive player, not complete player.
Yeah.
Offensive player, but watching him in these playoffs, like it's one of the things. Yeah, you still can get a bucket, but like, what do you want to be known for?
If he plays.
Exactly.
I don't know if I've ever seen one of the best players to ever play the game be so unhappy. He's not happy anywhere he goes. He's not happy in Brooklyn, wasn't happy in Golden State. He's not happy right now. He says he's going to be, and then he acts like the most miserable human being playing a sport that they supposedly love I've ever seen. One of them.
That's because he's chasing something that he can't have. And what I mean by that is he's chasing the full approval and validation from the media, the masses, the fans on social media, the Instagram. If you just look at what his resume is, his resume stacks up with the best resumes in NBA history, in basketball history. When you start adding the gold medals, when you add what he did at college, it's one of the best basketball resumes you'll ever see.
Sure.
2 finals MVP. But along the way, he left OKC and all hell broke loose. The conversation behind him is he did one of the most cowardice moves. I'm not saying this is me. This is what they were saying. One of the most cowardice moves ever. You leave to a team that you should have beat. Now you join and you form like Voltron, and you basically got 2 MVPs. You got 2 this. You got 2 championships when you went there. So now he's been chasing trying to do it on his own, and you can't do that. He wants people to tell him, hey, yeah, you one of the best ever. No, those two things matter. Now, I would have left OKC too, and that's why he has burner accounts. That's why he has another burner account. That's why he's trolling the media. I troll a little bit too, but I don't care what people think about me to a certain extent.
I don't think he does either.
He cares it. Well, no, he does, because that's why he does it.
I got you.
Because he can't get what he wants, and I want people to say, your career is elite. You're a top 10 player. And people will never tell him that, because they're always going to hang over his head. You went to join Clay and Steph.
Well, you can complain about that if you're in the media, but you cannot deny what he's done. And
no,
so I
not
think
at
it's
all.
I think it's crazy.
I wish he knew that.
Yeah, I wish the media would just come out and say it if that's what he's looking for. If he's looking for that validation, I just don't think he plays with much love of the game, and maybe I'm reading way too much into it. All right,
he loves the game.
Is that the Pistons' struggles right now? Is it the flaw in the roster, or is the roster flawed? And what I mean by that is how this roster was built, or is it the way this roster is playing? Maybe it could be two things are true at the same time, but we use that phrase, and I use it a lot. We use that phrase to wiggle our way out of not wanting to take one side or another.
I think it's how the roster is built and how it was constructed. I go back to my feelings when they brought in Karis LeVert, and they brought in Duncan Robinson, and now they start, and then as the season progresses, you see more uses of Dennis Jenkins, you see more uses of Javonte Green, and then I'm being told, like, this is the squad, and then they win 60 games, so it's like, shit, I can't say anything.
I know.
Like, I don't believe that. Yeah. I think it's how they're built. Like, if you look at that squad before the season starts, and once again, this is, for me, I'm football. Yeah, basketball I know, but I don't know it like that, so this is just speculation as a novice. When you look at that roster, if you're any one of, like, the major teams they're going to be in the playoffs, I'm not scared of that roster. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be scared of Javonte Green and Dennis Jenkins. I'm supposed to be scared of Paul Reed. I'm supposed to be scared of Jalen Duren, who can't move outside of 12 feet. I'm supposed to be scared of Marcus Sasser or, Asar Thompson, who can't dribble and can't shoot free throws. So when I'm looking at a roster, I think it's how it's constructed. Now, this is me being overly, because I'm telling my side. But I think it's how it's constructed. Like, you don't have two guys outside the cave where you're like, okay. Mm-hmm. Like, when you're reading,
gotta have that guy.
When you're reading a
That's
roster,
fair.
Like when you're reading a roster, it's just a fan.
Yeah.
Like when you're just a fan, like people in the chat, like tell me I'm lying. You look at the roster, you like, oh okay, okay, they got him.
We wanted Asar to be one of those guys.
Oh, okay, they got him. Oh, I liked him over here. Now, okay. Like, that's not how you look at the roster. You look at the roster, and this is the jokes were cracked. It's Cade, who had an elite season, who has now entered himself into a different stratosphere. He's one of the tops. He'll probably be all NBA 1 or 2 this season. And then it's like, it's a drop off. So I believe it's how the roster was constructed, because you can only ask so much of guys, because sometimes you're asking them to do things that aren't necessarily them.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think there's sometimes we as fans, people in the media, look at the way a roster is constructed and you think to yourself, how good is that guy really going to be? Did people think that of DeSomo in Minnesota? And he was pretty good last night and has been pretty good for Minnesota. There's a lot of times where we gravitate toward the big-name players.
But you still got 3 other guys when I look at that roster. I see Julius Randle, whether I believe in him or not. I see Julius Randle. I see one of the best players in the league, same last name. And then I see DiVincenzo, who is
both
hurt.
Those guys are out, right?
That's what I'm saying, who's out right now. So when I'm looking at their roster, I see those 3. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, man, MVP.
Don't forget Rudy Gobert. He was a minus 25 last night.
There you go. But to that point, I don't like Rudy Gobert, but he'll give you defense at least. So, like, you can look at that. And every roster in the playoffs right now, Shep, every roster is going to be the same, where you can legitimately point out at least 3, probably
3 guys.
4.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. Okay.
I mean, look, if you want to, you could take from the same game.
Yeah.
Denver with Christian Brown, Nikola Jokic. I don't think
national champ.
I don't think Jamal Murray played last night. Mm-hmm. Who am I missing? Cam Johnson. Spencer Jones.
Yeah.
It sounds made up, but he had 20 points for him last
starting
night.
roster?
Well, those guys are starters for Denver. Last night they were.
Last night, I'm saying, but when you look at the roster as
Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the names oftentimes we don't always associate. That's all.
Right,
okay.
right.
So if a fan's looking at the Pistons roster and they're going, "Who the hell's Javonte Green? Who's Dennis Jenkins?" You can understand why they're saying that, but there might be people saying the same thing about who the hell is, Spencer Jones, for crying out loud for Denver. The thing that I found interesting is I was talking with some of our young fans here earlier, and they said, Dennis Jenkins was supposed to take the place of Dennis Schroeder. And I said, first of all, nobody thought that at the beginning of the year.
Nobody did.
Okay? I didn't like losing Dennis Schroeder.
No,
I don't know
no.
the financial aspect of it because Trajan Langdon's got that a hell of a lot
He
better.
never makes that much.
Yeah.
At no stop
He
has
doesn't.
Dennis Schroeder.
I
Ever
know.
since he blew the bag for himself in L.A. with the $82 million, every stop has been, here's 5 here.
Yeah.
Here's 2 here.
Here's 2 for
here's
13.
3 here.
Yeah, right.
Here's 2.3 here.
Right, right.
Like, so you can't tell me that it was
But what he allowed, I think sometimes instead of looking at points and assists and all that other stuff, what he allowed Cade Cunningham to do last year is play off the ball. And I don't think you can do that with anybody else on this roster for Cade Cunningham. They need a second ball handler. Well, I think oftentimes the best teams are the teams that have multiple ball handlers and multiple position defenders. When you can have a guy bring the ball up the floor like Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic. I'm using, obviously, big-name guys, but it's worth pointing out. Victor Wembanyama will bring it up the floor every once in a while, okay?
True.
They don't have to hand it off to a guard, and then that guard can be met three-quarter court, right? Yeah. What you're doing is you've got multiple ball handlers, and I don't think Detroit has that. And when you talk about multiple defenders, guys who could – Franz Wagner can cover 4 different positions.
Facts.
Right? Detroit doesn't have many of those guys. I think Asar Thompson can do that. I think Cade Cunningham is an underrated defender. Yeah. But it's hard for a lot of those.
What is it about
Suggs gotta stop.
Why does Jalen Suggs keep trying to dunk on Cade?
They played against each other in high school.
Because remember the game?
And Cade dunked on him bad.
Yeah, but they were also 2 guys who were considered among the candidates for number 1 overall.
Yeah, top 5 picks. Both of them
remember
as well.
the Magic game I went to that you were at, and we stopped. Yep. That was the one where Jalen tried to dunk on him and Cade met him at the rim.
Yes.
It was like the best block this season.
Yeah.
He did it again.
Yeah.
I like it though.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's what they're all about. I mean, it's the Bregman, Dansby, Swanson type situation. So you think it's the makeup of the roster?
I do.
Kool-Aid, do you think it's the roster or the makeup of said roster?
I'm gonna say the makeup of the roster.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the makeup. I think. I want to see Cade be better on these stages, especially when you are going into the playoffs. You got to step your game up. Physicality, turnovers got to go down. But, they need it more. It almost feels a little bit like the Dylan Larkin situation where, at least we've gotten to see Dylan Larkin on these national stages. I know Cade is going to be on the Olympic teams and such. We're going to be able to see his effects again, while he's playing with really good players. And this is where we're not even asking. We haven't even asked for them realistically to bring in and give him a big 3, with these big super. We've just asked for can we get a secondary creator, a secondary facilitator,
A guy who has to be able to score.
Yeah,
Larkin has more help than Cade Cunningham does.
Yeah,
now it's easier on a hockey team, but he's got 2 other Olympians. I mean, he's got Mo Sider, and he's got Lucas Raymond. He also has the best American-born player of all time. Now he's a little bit longer in the tooth, okay, all right, but he's got more. He's also got a 40-goal scorer with him, Alex DeBrincat. Hockey, you have to have that. I mean, otherwise, Connor McDavid would win a Stanley Cup every year.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got to have that. But Cade Cunningham needs more help. By the way, I didn't get this in. I don't think this is necessarily breaking news, but it was released not too long ago. Executive of the Year, NBA Executive of the Year. Where do you think Trajan Langdon finished?
I'm going to say outside the top 5.
Sweet Potato Cam?
I'm going to say 5, actually.
5?
It wouldn't be fair. I heard y'all talking about it before the show.
Oh, okay. He finished 3rd.
3rd?
Okay. Who do you think won?
I saw it earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can break it.
So Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens of Boston.
I saw that who won. I didn't see how
Ansi Salah of Atlanta came in 2nd. The reason I say that is because when we were talking about Coach of the Year, I said J.B. Bickerstaff's going to win it. You think it's going in Boston's way because, and I think he's a really good coach, don't get me wrong, but because of what they've had to deal with. But I think J.B. Bickerstaff has had a lot to deal with too. I found that interesting considering this team won 60 games, and Trajan Langdon was in that conversation. B, I don't think you saw this, so real quick before we go to break and then we come back with your breakdown of Jimmy Rolder. Where do you think Trajan Langdon finished in NBA Executive of the Year?
This particular year?
This year.
Considering they had him, like 14 or something when we did that a while ago, I would say...
Based on what they did this year.
I know it's not going to be the full love, but I think it's be something. I'm going to go 6.
Third.
Damn it, I was going to say 3.
No, you and I were in the same
I literally
spot.
wanted to say 3.
Brad Stevens finished 1 of Boston.
Yeah,
okay, so Trajan Langdon received 6 first-place votes.
Oh, wow.
All right, that was the second most. Stevens had 11. He finished 3 second-place votes, and he had 1 third-place vote.
Trajan got the second most first-place votes?
Yeah. Brad Stevens with 11. Jeff Peterson of Charlotte had 5, but Trajan Langdon had 6.
I think two things
over
can be
Atlanta.
I think 2 things can be true. Yeah. I think he deserves it.
Atlanta had 1.
I think he deserves it for what 2 years was, till last season, to 60 wins this season, until #1 overall seed, because that's when that came out. I think he deserves it. Now that we have another sample size, which is what he was looking at, the comments he made, I want to see what these young guys can do. Now that we have that, now there's things. Now we'll see if he earns that 3 moving further to 1.
So I said this at the time, and it's not going to be taken well, but I didn't like when he said that. And the reason I didn't like what he said is it's almost like it's an escape door.
Yeah.
We talk about how
playing with house money.
Yeah.
We heard that with Troy Weaver, too.
We talk about how important it is in playoff experience. How much experience do you need? Last year, they played a hell of a series against New York. Has that helped them this year? Hell no, it hasn't helped them this year.
How many people off that team are playing this year? Yeah, Tobias doesn't count because he already had the playoff experience. So
Duncan Robinson doesn't count then because he's
he doesn't. He doesn't.
Karis LeVert doesn't count because he's already got experience.
Right.
So,
because it's a different team. That's what I was asking.
Yeah. So it's obviously Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
It's Asar Thompson.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Stewart didn't play because he was injured, but he's been pretty good. Hasn't hurt him, from what I can tell. Jalen Duren hasn't helped him. He played 34 minutes a game last year in the playoffs, and it really hasn't helped him.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my bottom line. He wanted to take a look at what his team was going to be. The smart ass in me would say, why do you need a playoff series to figure out how your team's going to be? How come you don't know what your team is now? Why would you not address some of those needs? I think he's going to do that in the offseason. Those are just questions I have. You know how I feel about him. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves a lot of credit for what this team has done. Some people argued with me this morning and said he inherited Cade Cunningham. He inherited Jalen Duren. He inherited Asar Thompson. He inherited Isaiah Stewart. How do I combat that? And Ron Holland hasn't played. He's been a DNP the last 2 games.
5th pick overall.
Yeah. So, just things I'm thinking, things I'm pondering, and debates that I oftentimes have, sometimes with myself, sometimes with you in the chat. Smash that like button. When we come back, Jimmy Rolder, the 4th-round pick of the Detroit Lions this year. Somebody in the kitchen earlier said he's a special teams guy. Braylon Edwards will answer that question when we come back after this from Estates Titles and Pure Psychiatry.
State Title Agency, you know what time it is. Whether you're buying a home or refinancing, the team at the State Title Agency can make the closing process simple and convenient. That's what they're all about at State Title. They want to make it simple. They want to make it convenient. Nabi Saad and his team over there do an amazing job. Proudly serving Michigan since 2003. The staff at the State's Title Agency, they got over 20 years experience. In this day and age, in this business, experience is king. Combine that with Nabi's expertise, and they can guide any title or escrow transaction to a smooth landing. It's all about smooth. I love the adjectives they use in this. Simple, convenient, smooth. I love those. Smooth operator. Hey, shout out to Sade. They know you're busy, which is why they even offer weekend and late night closings. By appointment only, but they still offer them, and they will even come to complete the transaction at a destination of your choosing. Drop that pin, drop that location, and they will pull up, and they will make it happen for you. It's about the convenience. It's about the simplicity. It's about a State Title Agency.
A lot of Pistons fans right now need some help. They're in deep depression.
Yeah, they need,
okay. And
Jack Daniels.
and I'm telling you right now, that is no laughing matter. There's a lot of people who get sad and disappointed and frustrated and depressed at different times of the year. You're not alone if that happens to you. Pure Psychiatry is there to help you. They are accessible, they are comfortable, they are true to you, and they are going to make sure that if you come to them and you ask for some assistance, they will provide you with something that is customly built for you, not a cookie cutter. All right? So if you're thinking about taking the first step, you're not alone there. Go to PurePsychMI.com.
Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. Injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
April in the D has not been fun, but y'all can always have fun on Caesars Sportsbook app, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Y'all can place any bet up to $1,000, and if you lose, you get that bet back. All you gotta do is scan that QR code and enter the code Woodward1000. If that first bet doesn't hit, you'll get your deposit back up to $1,000. Download that Caesars Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Use code Woodward1000 or scan that QR code on your screen. And y'all already know that Thrive Energy pouches are the best way to get that clean energy. They challenged us at Woodward Sports to see if y'all are actually tuned in. Thrive is offering 3 free cans of their energy pouches to all. Go to dipstop.com/WSN. Use code WSN at checkout. Get 3 free packs of energy pouches, and we'll send that 3-pack straight to your front door. There's a 5-day offer, only valid from May 1st through the 5th. After May 1st, we'll drop this link in the chat right now. Let's show them what the WSN fam is all about and see how many free cans we can claim. Shep, how's that Sam Adams cherry?
I'll take it in a can. I'll take it in a bottle. I'll take it off a tap. I'll take it in a keg. You name it, I'll take it. Sam Adams cherry wheat made with real Michigan cherries is smooth, it's clean, and it tastes good. I mean, that's the best thing you can say. If you can talk about it's light and it's refreshing, here's what it is. That tastes really good. That's all you really need to know about Sam Adams cherry wheat. It's available right on air at Art and Jake's locations across the state. On Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, they've got $5 shorts for you. Check it out. If you haven't, you don't know what you're missing.
You know, the first time I looked at Rolder, I was just, I was like, I just kept saying football player. I was like, this guy's a football player. Thought he was highly instinctive. Again, he was the one guy on that Michigan defense. Like, he was the one that I hadn't seen in previous years. And so that was just kind of like a fresh, very encouraging view of him. But that he was very instinctive, was a really good tackler. He doesn't really miss hardly any tackles. And, he just plays with his hair on fire. He's stronger than what you think. He can actually set edges if you put him on the edge. If you don't know where you're going and if you don't have, high level processing and instincts, it can be tough for you. I don't care how big, strong, explosive you are as an inside linebacker.
Good soundbite, man. Thanks for putting that in, Kool-Aid. That's good stuff from Brad Holmes on Jimmy Rolder's.
Shout out B-Lad, too.
Shout out to B-Lad for putting that in there. I think we had some more Brad Holmes stuff, but I feel like we got caught up in the Pistons stuff, man. It was really good. I wanted to get to some of that. Maybe we do it today, maybe we do it tomorrow, but love the conversation about Brad Holmes, about Rolder. One thing I can say about Brad Holmes, there's one thing you can for sure say. He does his homework as it relates to scouting players, as it relates to watching players, as it relates to understanding who these players are and how they can or cannot help your team. So I give him a lot of credit because not a lot of GMs get up there and understand and watch film and know these players. Just throw that out there.
Well, I'm excited to see what you think about him because he's a guy. This is Braylon's breakdown. Braylon's going to break down every single Lions draft pick. We saw Blake Miller on Friday. Yesterday, of course, we had Derek Moore, and today we look at Jimmy Rolder, their next pick, 4th round. What do you like, and maybe what are some of your concerns?
All right, here we go. Before we get to it, how are my levels?
Levels are good. Levels are really good.
Here we go. Profile. This is Jimmy Rolder. I jot down some things just to get that out there. 73 tackles last year. He led the team. 7 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and he had a pick. Shows me he can get to the quarterback. Also, he pays attention in passing lanes where he can potentially intercept the pass. He's a natural magnet to the football, as you'll see in some of these highlights. The best thing about him, he's a physical, aggressive linebacker. He likes to play physical. He likes to play aggressive. You heard what Brad Holmes says. He likes to set the edge. You'll see all of that show up in this tape. Let's rock and roll. Now, this is against the enemy in East Lansing. Hit the play right now. Jimmy Rolder will be right here. Appreciate you, Brendan, for that one. Now, go back, take it back a little bit. He's going against the right tackle. He's 6'2", 230. Right tackle's going to be roughly about 6'2", 305. Hit play. Does a good job setting him up on the outside, using his speed. Dips and rips, gets up under there a little bit. We've seen Jack Campbell do a little of that as an outside linebacker blitzer. Gets the sack on Aiden Childs. This is good. Being able to dip and rip, being able to get up underneath. He set him up on the outside, took advantage of him getting out of place. He got up underneath there, and he got to the quarterback. This is one of the sacks that he had this year. So good job by him. This is a pinch moment. 2nd and 20, take him back even further. Go ahead and make it a little bit harder for Sparty. Good sack on him. Keeps his feet, closes, makes the play. You saw him come off the edge on that one. You saw him set up the guard or set up the tackle to get to the quarterback. Not bad. Next clip, if you will. All right, here you go. Now he's in coverage. Now he's backing. Now he's in the middle. Here we go. Mike's 37. Here we go. Jimmy Rolder's right here. Hit play. Let's see what happens on this play. His run recognition is also what makes him good. He's able to quickly diagnose things. This one, it's a pass. Kind of had his feet in the mud a little bit. Gets the pick right there. Bad play by the quarterback, doesn't matter. Linebacker held on to it. What I was saying before he took off on this, notice how instinctive he is. Notice how he finds things. He reads things. One thing you can tell about him, he's a guy that does film. You notice I've said that a lot about the players that Brad drafted this year. What term has he used? Football player. I've heard that about every single player they drafted this year. He's a football player. He's a smart, high IQ football player. Knows what he sees and acts accordingly. This is from the back copy. That's what it's called. Tight end breaks. He goes on it. Horrible throw. And actually, the tight end is actually lucky that this was a bad throw. I saw what the quarterback was trying to do, because that linebacker would have blew that tight end up if he would have threw, or that safety. All right, next play. Try to put it on his back shoulder. She just threw it.
I think that was tip too.
Okay, she just threw it to him.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Right here, second level, will linebacker. Let's see what we got out of the rotor on this play. Michigan State again. Watch the anticipation. He's reading it. He's reading it. Boom. He knows what it is. He knows this is a fake. Saw the fake the whole time. Go back. Watch the cognitive.
That's a good point.
Watch the cognitive working. You can tell this guy's watching film. He's reading it. He sees it. He doesn't go for the bait. Aiden Childs tried to sell him that the running back is going to go this way. He understands that it's going to come out here. It's going to be a pass. Once he knows, and what I mean by knows, once he understands, this is what I saw in film study. This is what I watched all week. Yes, it's going to be true. It's the same as it was on the tape. I got it. Boom. I'm going to go. Hit play. Got a little frozen situation. Okay, do you want to build a snowman? Sees it. Boom. Reacts right away. Gets down there. Quarterback throws the ball. He makes the play. He's getting there before the ball is there. Quarterback was late with the ball, but even still, it was a great play by him. Recognition, watching film. This is what you want. You want to have the smartest players on the field. You put a bunch of those guys on the same team, on the same side, you can do a lot of good things.
What does he read there? Are linebackers reading guards? Because you know the old adage, if the guard's helmet goes up, usually it's a pass. If it stays down, it's a run. Is he reading guard helmet to tailback or strictly looking at the tail?
He's reading tight end blocking. He's also reading center going this way.
Okay.
Center on film. Watch the center slide this way. Watch the backers. The tight end stay in and block. He knows, oh, shoot. The back tight end, stays in.
That's a lot to recognize all at once, is my point.
Yeah, 100%. And he recognized it well. He gets there. Fourth down, going the opposite way. What was the score? 24-13? Yee, we got to do a little bit better about that this year. All right, here we go. Next play. So this is the run recognition. Now, here he is. He's down in the box. Let's see what's going on in Nebraska. Down in the box. What's the down in there?
First and 10.
Oh, first and 10. All right, probably going to be a pass from
Patrick Mahomes
Dominic.
Jr.
He's got the hair. He's got the glasses. He got the whole nine.
The number.
This is Dylan,
arm
right?
sleeve.
Yeah, Dylan Merle. All right, here we go. Let's see what Roder has on this play. Boom, boom. Reads it. Watch this. Bah! Take it back. 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 This is what I love about this play. Okay. Now, this left tackle, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what they teach in Nebraska. Maybe that's why their coaches keep getting fired. Matt Rule would be no different. This guy's not even looking at Jimmy Roder. Jimmy Roder literally can run around this guy and get to Dylan. Or he can run around this way and get to where the play is. But instead, he wants the physicality. He wants the aggression. And he takes all 230 pounds and he lights it right into the left tackle's chest. Hit play. Watch the physicality and aggression. This is what you want to see from your ball club. Looking the wrong way, looking the wrong way. Watch this. Bah! Let me put you in your chest. Take him to the running back. Oh, you know what? You don't want to do anything? How about I just go get the sack too? I don't know what the other guy left in was doing. Guess what? That's our number 2 overall pick.
It is.
Yes. Actually, let's watch more on this play.
Yes,
Let's see what happens. Double team. Fights off the double team.
Rip through.
Oh, Jesus
Took that
Christ.
swipe.
Wait, Roder and Moore know how to work together.
They do.
You know what you love about that? He's always got his back. You went second, I'll go third. Have it back. But I love this right here. I love this aggression. Runs him into the running back. And then he keeps going with the play. He's looking, he's sizing it up. Rewind it a little bit. There's a little thing that he does right here, too. Because Rayola's a running quarterback. He's a movable quarterback, if you would. I mean, he's not fast, but he's like Mahomes, a little bit deceptive with it. What he chooses to do is he hesitates because he knows he's got Derek Moore. He knows he's got a guy about to make the play, so he's waiting just in case something happens. Hit play.
And Derek Moore is way down here in this defensive slot. It's a spread out wide.
Boom, this is called a stunt.
Yes.
They run a stunt. Watch him hesitate a little bit to make sure. Okay, just to make sure. Boom. And he goes there and gets a sack. Good job by him. Yeah. I actually thought Nebraska was going to be a little bit better last year. But these are two of you guys right here on the play. They run a nice stunt. Derek Moore comes around. Big dog, he's too easy. Like, he's a strong guy.
So that's impressive.
He's
I mean,
a strong
for
guy.
Rolder to, I know it's a tackle and a tailback.
Right.
You're supposed to handle the tailback, but like you said, he didn't get knocked off his pins against the tackle.
He absolutely did not.
Yeah.
All right, good
This
job.
is the
by
last
those
one,
two.
B.
That's the last play.
Yep.
So what you saw out of that, you saw him be able to anticipate run. You saw him be able to read the run. You saw him in coverage, drop back a couple times and make some plays on the ball. And also you see the physical aggression. And that's what Kelvin Shepard wants, especially with a lot of gap schemes that they're going to run this year. You want that aggression. You want a linebacker that can set the edge. Setting the edge is one of the big conversations out of Kelvin Shepard this year. Kelvin wants his players to be able to set the edge. Whether you're a safety, whether you're an outside edge, whether you're a will linebacker, got to be able to set the edge. And that's something that you learn up there in Michigan. So,
do you view him only as a special teams player?
I don't view him only as a special teams player. I view him as a fourth-round pick. Most fourth-round picks are going to need work. They're going to have to take some time, understand and learn the scheme, and get better at the things that kept them out of the third round or kept them out of the fourth round. I don't care who you draft, whether it's the DN from Penn State, whether it's a couple other guys that were floating around there, they're all going to need a little bit of work. So to answer your question, I don't view him as just a special teams player. However, there's work to be done. He's got some work ahead of him because this is the NFL and your fourth-round pick, so a lot of work.
Yeah, I would say if you're Detroit's third pick overall and a fourth-round choice and all you're doing is playing special teams, you might have missed on the pick.
Yeah.
That's just me. I want him to
Facts.
I want him to be at least, as a fourth-rounder, at least a rotational player.
Yeah, 1,000%. You can't and I understand Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be an outlier,
He's unique.
but you can't have Amon-Ra St. Brown as a fourth-round pick and then tell me, oh, it's okay that he's a special team guy.
Yeah.
They don't go hand in hand.
Agreed.
So I agree with you 100%. Is he? The verdict will be out.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, some people worry about only being a full-time starter for one
year.
full season.
Guess what? Aiden Hutchinson was a full-time starter for one season.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And he got hurt.
Oh, okay.
He got hurt his junior year.
There you go. That's a good point. All right. But
he got hurt early in his career, too, so I was giving you
Yeah. Let me ask you this, and then I know we got to go to break because we're going to do some other stuff.
No.
Some people feel like a big deal for Rolder is that he stayed there. He could have left. He could have made more money, probably, if he had gone someplace else. But he was true to his school.
Got better year over year.
Yeah, for the most part, he got better. Okay, minus the injury, like you said. But he stayed when he could have left. Yeah. Do you take any stock in that whatsoever?
Well, one, they sell us on those who stay.
Yes.
And we typically do. I think also, too, when you're looking at your defensive coordinator, this is your chance to finally start at the institution that you're bought into, and your defensive coordinator is Wink Martindale. You're now being coached by a guy that understands NFL schemes. He's been doing it for a very long time at that level. So this is a chance for you to start to see and process through an NFL lens on what it means to be a linebacker. So if I'm looking at why he stayed, I think he stayed because of the defensive coordinator and what he could learn because he knew that this day was going to come.
All right, when we come back, we talked a little bit about the Pistons. Perhaps the most disappointing season in recent memory, or is it, if they can't come back in this series? We'll discuss that and maybe what it compares to when we come back after this from Dr. Pierce and from Buddies.
Dr. Pierce, the injury insider here at Woodward Sports. Let's talk about the medical side, though, man. Dr. Jeff Pierce, 248-426-9944, Michigan Sports and Spine. They understand over there. They can get your body back feeling like it's supposed to. Remember, I tell you, it's all about not just a diagnosis. Anybody can get a diagnosis from any Tom, Dick, and Harry that may not necessarily know exactly what they're doing. But not here at Michigan Sports and Spine. They understand what your body is, what your body is going through, and where the injury is. So go there. Make sure you get it right, man. I'm telling you, I'm always going there from a shoulder. I'm going there for a tricep. I'm going there for a bicep. I thought it was this, but they tell me otherwise. That's the spot for you. You got to go where the pros go. And then on the other side, You hear him on the show. He talks about the peptides and the secret sauce, but he mainly comes on here to tell you when your guys are going to be back, who's hurting the division, how long is that guy going to be out, what is the situation to our star safeties. Well, Doc knows. Come here. So 100% injury insider for Woodward Sports. He is Dr. Jeff.
I was talking about Doc at the gym the other day. A friend of mine came up to me and he was talking about the peptides. Because I said to him, I said, man, you've lost some weight. You look really good. He goes, dude, I've lost 15 pounds because of those peptides. And he said, I feel great. I look great. He does. He looks really good. Can't say the same for me. But I would say this. You know what tastes really good? Buddy's Pizza. You better believe it. And yesterday did another great job as always. That April 27th day where they had the 50th annual Slice for Life fundraiser. They have raised well over $4 million for Capuchin Soup Kitchen. Now you move forward and you want to be able to get a deal. Well, you can get a deal. You get a deal by just mentioning the promo code Woodward20 and you get 20% off your next order at Buddy's Pizza. Check it out. It's got the best pizza, the best salads, the best food you're going to find for any pizzeria, especially with the history that they have behind them as the original Detroit-style pizza.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Sorry ass. Looking for dinner plans and sizzle. Apologies. We were talking about a little something else. Mother's Day buffet. It's all you can eat at Black Route. First and foremost, you gotta call now. You gotta reserve because the spots, they are filling out fast. I tell you all the time, this is a place of service. This is a place of fresh food. So It's going to be no different on Mother's Day. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Full dinner menu after 3. It is at every single location. You got to go to blackrockrestaurants.com. All you can eat. Let's get moms out of the house. Let's get your grandma out of the house. Let's get the wives out of the house. Let's get your sister who's a wife out of the house. Get the family out of the house. You get them there. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet at Black Rock, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about the deals all the time. Well, this is no different. This is the best deal. You gotta treat the ladies. Happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out here. This is where you should be if you're looking for a place and you're in the pinch. Call now to reserve. It's Black Rock Bar and Grill.
They deserve it. And you deserve the best haircut you can get. If you're a guy and you want to look your best, you come to Lady Haircuts for Men. No question. 28 locations throughout the entire state of Michigan. Guaranteed winners here. You're watching sports, you're getting your hair clipped, you're having a really good conversation, and you're coming to a clean place that you don't have to worry about leaving and jumping into hand sanitizer right away. It's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It is wicked awesome. Open to 7 days a week for you.
We'll be back.
Wiki. Shout out to Future.
How about some super chats? Kool-Aid, you want to get us caught up on that? Because I know people have been active. Thank you for being so active in the chat. We appreciate it. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I don't blame them, man. Smash that like button.
People are definitely pissed. You guys can probably tell what the majority of the super chats are going to be.
Yeah.
Michael Wary, $2 super chat. He says they are playing and looking like JB, and JB looks lost. Sheesh.
Dang. That's like if you go back and watch, and I know it happens to everybody, Shep. You're right. You're in the NBA for long enough, you will get dunked on, unless you're Shaquille O'Neal and you say you never got dunked on, which I saw you get dunked on. That's neither here nor there. Right. You gotta let the big diesel be the big diesel. But when you watch the energy of the team, JB Bickerstaff and everybody, when that dunk went in, it was like, oh
yeah,
damn. It was that was a tough one.
Man.
They bounced back from that, like score-wise, but I don't think soul-wise they ever did.
Yeah, that's a pretty good, a poignant way to put it. I mean, when you look at it too, not that this should matter that much. Jamal Cain, Neil Rule was calling his games at Oakland.
Yeah.
Okay, so when a guy does that to Jalen Duren, and look, I root for the local guys all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I root for the guys on our teams. And I root for the guys who are here from locally. I don't care who you're playing for. I'm like, I want to see him do well.
Because they're representing this state.
Yeah.
Yes.
Robert Spillane played for the Raiders and then the Patriots. He was an undrafted free agent out of Western Michigan. And I'm a Chip. I'm rooting for him big time. All right?
100%.
So it's not that I'm not rooting for Jamal Cain, but that was impressive stuff. It was nasty stuff. And I was torn to a certain extent because I'm like, this dude I hope does well. I just don't want him to win. And then he does that to Duren. I'm like, okay, I gotta pump the brakes there for a minute.
That's a funny combo because you're right. I remember when the Panthers played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It was my freshman year? I think it was my freshman year at Michigan. I was cheering for the Carolina Panthers, not because I hated the Patriots, but I was like, oh man, Muhsin Muhammad is my guy. He's from here, Michigan State.
Fun guy. Although, yeah, right.
Tom
Brady. I was gonna say Tom, but he's from California.
Yeah, he's from Cali.
Okay.
Yeah,
wait, where's Muhsin from?
He's from East Lansing.
He's from East Lansing.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I was cheering for.
I thought you were saying he was from locally. All right, go ahead. A couple more.
Definitely. And let me see.
Somebody
here.
said they did. I missed the breakdown. No, I think you got it. So
got it.
It's appointment viewing. Braylon's breakdown is appointment viewing without question.
Hey, one of the best segments, if not the best on the network, man. Shout out to my dog, Bray.
You know what time it is.
And Randall Smalls, $2 super chat says,
Rando!
with no oops to Duren, whose fault is it? He's wondering, is it just Jalen Duren's fault?
No, absolutely not. You talking about that dunk?
Basically, the alley-oops, where is it? Because this used to be the Pistons' bread and butter. Pick and roll, lob passes. He's wondering whose fault is that?
I think everybody shares in it.
Can I ask you guys something? I don't necessarily know the answer to this. Is he playing himself out of here? It's been 4 games. You're going to look at 4. I'm just wondering, because everybody's saying he's playing himself out of a max contract. I don't think there's any question about that. But people are in the chat, too, and that's the only reason I bring it up. Mega Hustle, which is not to be confused by, Mr. Hustle, Ron Holland. Sabonis or Sengun could be Duren's replacement if he doesn't get his act together. Okay,
Sengun is definitely.
I like
Houston,
him.
Houston's not trading.
Changed. No, they're not trading. Okay. But in terms of the comparisons,
your second best player on the team can't be a liability.
Amen.
And right now, Jalen Duren is a liability. Because
I don't disagree.
Because for the lack of complete offensive game, I think that's the best way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
For the lack of complete offensive game, you gotta be a MFer on the other side. You gotta be Dennis Rodman. You gotta be. I mean, obviously, there's no Worm, there's no Ben Wallace, but you have to be of that mode. You have to be of that if this is what your game is going to be on offense. Because he's more like the way he's playing now. He's playing like a player that misses a 4. Like he's like a Kendrick Perkins.
Oh God.
No, I'm being honest. He's like a Kendrick Perkins if infused with some Serge Ibaka.
Should I judge him on the 4 games he's played in this playoff series more so than I judged him on the 70 games he played during the regular season?
No, but at the same time, we need to have a real conversation. Are we going to bring in X, Y, and Z $175 million 2 player?
Right.
Like, if we're not going to bring somebody that's going to be a number 4 that can stretch, do all the things, bring the ball up the court from time to time, is worth $175 million, or a 3 guard that's doing that, or a wing that does that, then no, it's not too fair. Because he needs one of those to be what he is.
Because I would just remind people, before this 4-game spurt, the last game he played against Charlotte, he had 20-9.
He had a good matchup against Rudy Gobert as well. You know, that last month of the season or so.
Yeah, I mean, but before the playoffs, the last game he played, 20, 9 boards, 8 for 11 from the floor. I'm not kidding you. It feels like somebody put him into trance.
Bro, he was setting efficiency records.
Bro, I know. You told us. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
All right, look, this is how I equate it.
Okay.
Because I want people to understand the intensity level changes. At the end of the season, Charlotte Hornets know where they're scheduled. They know where they're slotted. They know they're in. They know they're playing in the play-in. Like, they don't care.
Okay.
The energy's not there. I've played against teams, Shep, when I was with the Jets, when I was with the 49ers, when I was with the Seahawks, when it's December and these teams are already mailed it in, and these teams are already going to Cancun. They already know what they're doing. They know what the Christmas plans are. They know what after the end of the season exit meeting. They know where they're going, what they're doing. They're not focused on the game. You legitimately go out there. You can smell Tito's on some of these guys' breath at the line of scrimmage. Oh, excuse me. You know, I apologize. No free advertising here. You can smell Samuel Adams, or you can smell Sun Cruisers.
I like that.
On their breath at the line of scrimmage. I had a guy in Chris McAllister who's a really good DB for the first part of his
Arizona
career.
State, yeah.
We played Baltimore at the end of the season. Man, they had like 4 wins. They weren't playing. They weren't going. They weren't out there. They weren't serious. They didn't care. Like, the ease was there.
Mm-hmm.
It was a much easier level. And then you get to the playoffs and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this is different.
Yeah.
What's going on? So I just believe that it's the next level. Like, when you get to the playoffs, it's a little bit different from the energy that some guys are inserting, on a day in and day out basis. And if you don't pay attention to that, or you don't fully understand that or know that, and that's why the experience that they haven't had yet, this right here, Shep, is playoff experience. Like, this is playoff experience, because this Orlando Magic team is taking them to the woodshed.
It's the reason I ask that is because I'm trying to decide on, whether if I put myself in Trajan Langdon's shoes, like, they don't want the max, fine, but are people really thinking I want nothing to do with this guy because of these 4 games? If this is an unfair comparison,
I want him here.
I know you do, but I'm talking about people in the chat and really a lot of fans. This is an unfair comparison, but I'm going to use it anyway. Aaron Judge is a 3-time MVP. Some would argue he's a Hall of Famer right now. Do I look at Aaron Judge, if I'm a Yankees fan, which I'm not, but if I'm a Yankees fan, as a .293 career hitter and 380 homers? Or do I look at Aaron Judge in the postseason where he struck out 90-plus times, hit only 17 homers, and he's a sub-240 hitter? That's what I try and balance with players. So I look at, he's not the equivalent of Aaron Judge in basketball. That's not fair. But Aaron Judge, and you brought it up last year, okay? You brought up the WBC, for crying out loud. As good as he is in the regular season, and he's phenomenal. He's got Hall of Fame numbers. A 3-time MVP. You don't do that if you're not a good player. And yet, in the playoffs, he seems to really struggle. I don't know if that's who this guy is, but his regular season is pretty damn good. But the postseason, smaller sample size too, because Judge played like 65 games in the playoffs. Smaller sample size. We're giving up on him after these 4 games specifically. I think that's tough to do.
I was just going to say, if he came into this season and didn't answer some of those questions that we had at the beginning of it, Shep and Bray, that's where this postseason would be compounding. Even if he had a decent...
You mean during the regular season if he hadn't answered?
Yeah, he answered a lot of questions that led me to believe this. This is why it matters to me, that I know he's going to go back and work on his weaknesses. I know that a situation like this for him, I like Dragon Ball Z. Whenever a Saiyan gets beat up, they come back stronger. And I feel like Jalen Duren's one of those guys. And so there was a time when we didn't think he was going to walk into anything. And then what did we say all season? Well, look at him doing this. And what did the team credit? His work. And now, like Cade said after last year's playoffs, he said, now I know what I got to work at. Jalen Duren has to take that same exact mindset right now into this offseason. Well, they got some more games to play, but when the offseason starts, and I got belief in his offseason work ethic that he will work to be better, because you don't get more baptized than he has in this series. You talk about from the pop culture stuff with the whole Angel Reese stuff to just your actual matchup, you're getting dominated, to then the dunk of the playoffs happen on you as well.
His existence right now is I'm not going to front. Like, his existence right now is miserable.
It's tough.
It's a miserable, and I feel bad for him.
I do too.
But it comes to it's a miserable existence right now. You can add the pop culture stuff you're talking about. You can add the game out there, and you can just add him not knowing, like not understanding how this is going on.
You've been through it.
Let me 100%.
I've been through it in my professional space. Absolutely.
Are you Vegeta or are you Goku?
I love Goku, but Vegeta is so wrong.
Same. See, like,
you guys are talking Chinese to me right now. Help me
you know
out.
what's funny? It's actually Japan.
Jalen Duren needs to be more Vegeta.
You're close. It is.
Get a killer instinct. Is what Jalen Duren needs. He needs to be Vegeta.
For me, like, I've always loved the hero, like the hero complex. I was Superman. I was all the good guys in wrestling. When I thought Hulk Hogan was a hero, shout out. That Netflix special was actually interesting. But anyway, I love Vegeta 1. I love Goku 2. But actually, nobody compares to a pissed off Gohan. A pissed off Gohan.
A pissed off Geico. Any of them. I mean, they're all something else.
Here's the thing. I love that. As it relates to Jalen Duren, this is what I say. No, I do not want to give up on him. No, I don't want the Pistons to ship him off. What I want him to do is to go back this offseason and process everything that this was and work on the totality of a complete game. And what I want the Pistons to do is I want them to go out and get Cade as well as Jalen Duren, that piece in the middle, that 175 piece, because what happens right now is 2 guys. And Orlando Magic and Jamal Mosley understand that. And they are literally pressing the hell out of Cade. They are pressing the hell out of Jalen Duren. And those 2 can't do anything. And they're like, look, Tobias, you can go for 60. We don't give a damn.
Right.
Like, Dennis, shoot all the shots you want to. Javante, shoot all the shots you want. Duncan, we know you're not going to do anything. So, like, that's how Orlando's playing. We're going to press Cade. We're going to press Jalen. Jalen can't handle this type of press yet.
Yeah, not right now.
He's not the offensive player.
I think I like it. Yeah. When Kool-Aid says he's getting this lesson learned, remember, this is what I was told. Last year they were going to learn from that series. That's what we were told. Okay? Yeah. This dude's got 275, 276, whatever, NBA games under his belt. At some point, and I know he's only 22, I give him the benefit of the doubt, but when you've played 4 years in the league and you've been a consistent starter, and you do already have a playoff series under your belt, I'm wondering, and we can all get better at everything. Yeah. All right? We're all growing, hopefully, every day. You're getting better at something. You're acknowledging something that you need to get better at. God knows there's plenty of that for me to grow. At what point do we stop making excuses?
Like, the team has to grow with him, and that's what I think I'm trying to say is the team hasn't grown. Mm-hmm. And I understand they won 60 games, which is 16 more than last year. So by record-wise, they've grown. By standard, they've grown. But I don't believe this team has truly grown. Like, Asar Thompson, is Asar Thompson that much better than he was last year? Like, I don't think this team as a whole has grown, and not together they haven't grown.
Yeah, I don't think Asar Thompson's ever going to be an offensive threat. I think he's a hell of a perimeter defender. Yeah. I think he's a guy who can cover multiple players. It scares me.
Why didn't we have the 4th pick instead of the 5th?
His inability.
Why couldn't Orlando be healthy all year?
I was saying exactly. I was saying we could have
exactly right.
We could have got the other 2 in. Yeah. He actually has an offense.
It's like when it backfires. We're sitting here like, yo, Orlando's out, wide open East. This is when it backfires, because Orlando was sitting there at the AC like, bro, we know what we're supposed to be. And they said it all series. We're not afraid of them.
They shouldn't be.
They shouldn't.
Kool-Aid, like, to be honest, when we were talking about it before the season, I don't know if you guys remember, it was so long ago. Like, people were laughing when I was like, hey, look, the East is open. We all said that. And then we talked about the Bane move.
Yeah.
We talked about, we was like, look, man, Bane's in Orlando. Like, they're going to be serious. Paulo, Franz.
We said they got better faster than anybody in the conference.
That's what we said.
Okay. Now, I did think Detroit would be a top 4 in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and backpedal, okay? Because I thought Detroit was going to win this series, and it's not over yet. I thought Detroit was going to win this series. I thought the way they played during the regular season would help them even in this series, in this playoff push. I still think the East, to a certain extent, is wide open. But I am stunned at the lack of, you want to call it adjustments, the lack of learning from the past game by this team.
Yeah.
Because I would have guessed something would have clicked by now, and they would have figured it out. And the reason I say that is because they are no longer playoff novices, and they are no longer basketball novices. I've said this ad nauseum about baseball. 1,500 at-bats under your belt, and then I'll start measuring you. What is it in basketball? You tell me. How many games do you have to watch a guy for you to go, okay, he should be this by now? I think it's fair to ask Jalen Duren to be an all-star in the playoffs, at least in the first-round playoff series, like he was an all-star during the regular season. And I would hope he would be expecting the same thing. Go ahead, Kool-Aid. Any others?
Yeah, Michael Wary, he just added in with a $2 super chat. He believes that the roster is flawed and that there are missing pieces. Though we all want to still see better out of Jalen Duren, Cade, and JB Bickerstaff. Dante151, he asks with a $4.99 super chat, would Trajan Layden be open to a sign and trade with Jalen Duren? Is that even possible in this day and age? And knowing the way that this front office works, I wouldn't believe that that's something that they're going to do. I would believe that they're closer to giving him the max and believing what his future potential could be, more so than an actual sign and trade. But could it be something that can happen? Hey, they got crazy ways to facilitate a whole lot of things in this
You wouldn't
NBA.
give him the max, though.
What'd you say?
You wouldn't give him the max. You can't.
I don't know, man. The agent is going to ask for it.
Oh, if I'm the agent, I'm asking for it too. But I'm talking about it from a front office standpoint. You can't do that. You give the max to guys who create. He doesn't create nearly enough. Now, we saw a video of him that he can. He's not just a lob and dunk guy. Everybody knows that. He's proven that this year. He doesn't do that nearly enough. Max at 22, has limitations, don't we all? Has limitations. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't think. Do you think he can? Would you do that if you're Trajan Langdon?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm back on my wave, man, as my former Detroit fan individual self. Like I'm straight shooter. From now on, I'm sticking my guns and calling everything straight, whether it's the Tigers and Lions, the Pistons, the Wings. Like, you're gonna get nothing but the straight. Because I give it to you straight, but every once in a while I'll conform. Every once in a while I turn it down a little bit and just I'm glass half full. No, the answers you get out of me moving forward is it's going to be how I feel, and it's not going to be any care about what the chat or
series like this
Yeah.
scar some fans.
Yeah.
Like some people in the chat say, "Hey, listen, it's happened with the Lions over and over and over." And I get it. I do.
Ask that question now.
I understand. I do. I really understand that because this makes you second guess what you're seeing. I'm seeing a team dominate the regular season. Crap. I forgot. They did the same thing in 2025-26, and look what happened. I'm, in the words of The Who, I won't get fooled again.
What would you say if it came in? Because he's eligible for up to $48 million a year.
Oh, my God.
Cade Cunningham. Listen.
Shep's knee gave out.
Cade Cunningham right now is at $46.4 million. It will rise by the end of his contract up to $53.8 million. That actually works in the Pistons' favor when you're talking about negotiating with Duren. To me, that seems like he's going to be sub 40, sub 37 a year, especially when you factor in you got your Nick Claxtons out there making in MPJs, people making 25, 30 million
nuts.
a year.
Right.
He's probably going to walk
Devin
into about
Booker's
35.
going to make $237.5 million over the next 4 years.
He cost himself, though. I agree with you. He cost himself at least $15 million a year, in my opinion. At least.
Not that you got to be a jerk in negotiations, but when the agent comes in and says, "I want a max deal," I go like this with the box scores. and I say, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. We like your guy. He's important to us, but he's not that important.
It's like 5-year, 150, 160, 170.
Here's the other thing, and you can't do this in front of fans. I understand that.
Yeah.
But a general manager does have to go in front of the media, in front of a fan base, and say, this is why I did this.
Arbitration, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's like
The Tigers still take that hit on Scooble.
Like
okay, do they not?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, and this team possibly, do you think this is in scarring people? Give me the team that has perhaps disappointed you most in your playoff history.
In Detroit?
Anywhere.
If we're talking anywhere, then it'd be the 96 Atlanta Braves. Like, I couldn't believe they were up 2 games, zip on the Yankees, and they lost 4 in a row. I told you.
He didn't hesitate. Those are
scars.
scars.
No, because, yes, they're real scars. Because this was, you know why? Is because I moved to Atlanta in 89. I moved back to Detroit in December of 94. But I'm coming back. I'm riding the Braves. Braves this, Braves that. The hell with the Tigers. Your team sucks. Like, at that particular time, I'm a Braves guy, no Tigers. Like, I wasn't down on Michigan and Trumbull in 84. So I'm all Atlanta Braves. So fast forward, everybody's cracking jokes. They can't win the bigger one. They keep getting let down. That 96 when I was riding high. And when they lost 4 in a row, everybody in the city gave me poop forever. So and if we're sticking with the city, I'll make it more recent. Like, you cannot come off of winning. You cannot come off of going to the NFC Championship game and being a nickel throw away from going to the Super Bowl, come back with the #1 record, and then get popped at home in the first round after I was told that this was the new experience as it relates to home field advantage. So that Detroit Lions team in 24, there will never be anything like that in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, I think it would probably be the 96 Red Wings. They won 62 games.
Broke the record,
62 of 82. That broke the record. They had 131 points. That broke the record. They had Hall of Famers. They had Paul Coffey on there. They had Dino Ciccarelli. They had Steve Yzerman, of course. They have Igor Larionov, Nick Lidstrom. You could go on and on. The players on that team was literally, you felt like it was all decorated in Hall of Fame jackets.
And yet toughness.
And yet they lost in the Western Conference Finals to Colorado. And I thought for sure that was a Stanley Cup championship winning team. And remember, the franchise had gone years, 40-plus years, 42 years without winning a Stanley Cup. And, of course, they would win it the next year. I was debating. I was really having a hard time when I was thinking about this question. It was either that team or, believe it or not, the 2014 Tigers. I know people would get upset about 2006 and 2012 because they actually made the World Series, lost to the Cardinals and won. Ridiculous. Lost in a sweep to the Giants. But remember, in 2014, they had Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Rick Porcello, Doug Fester, Anibal Sanchez. They had 3 Cy Young Award winners on that staff. They won 93 games, and they got swept by Baltimore.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was Nelson Cruz taking out a belt.
Was that?
Yeah.
Wasn't
You remember Super Cruz?
Wasn't Price?
David Price was not on that team. He was not on the team. It was Fister, Sanchez, Porcello, Verlander, and Scherzer.
He got traded before the playoffs, maybe?
I'm pretty sure that was it. Let me double check that, but I'm almost positive that's what it was. Kool-Aid, what's the team for you? Let me double check that.
I feel like it would be easy to just say the 2005 Detroit Pistons. You knew it was over after the Robert Horry shot in Game 5. Even though the Pistons still battled and pushed it to 7 and lost in really the closing minutes. But for me, the one that it hurt, and it began to hurt more and more as I saw this team have opportunities and miss it, 2006 World Series. I thought that one was in the bag. Me and my grandfather loved the Detroit Tigers. And for them to boot the ball around the infield against those Cardinals and lose that game was a heartbreak. And then when you look forward into their series against, Big Panda and the Giants and such, and then when you look when they had another great opportunity, and the lasting memory I have against that great series against the Boston Red Sox is Torrey Hunter with his legs up in the air.
Man, don't get me started.
Because I was like, man, it was the Cardinals one that you have to say really set it off, where I thought they had a great, probably one of the best opportunities to punch home.
That was the 93 winning team, and that was those are the guys. Price joined them the next year. 14.
Okay.
So 14, yeah.
Gotcha.
So 14 was disappointing. And sure, you're right, 100%. Losing to the Red Sox. That's a good debate.
I was legitimately DJing a gig at Crave, and I was watching the game before just getting checking my levels, make sure I was set, make sure I had my mixes up, make sure I had the right songs.
Check.
Sip, you know what time it is, yo. It's DJ Easy on the 1 and 2. Yo, let's go.
Bro, we gotta go to one of your events.
So 100%. And I'm watching this live before the party started, and I cannot believe he overjudged it. The only thing I would say, and it's everybody's opinion, you guys are naming guys that got to the championships.
Yeah.
Like it's still a letdown, but you got to the championships outside of the Avalanche. But you look at the Avalanche were avalanches and monsters at that time.
And they won the Stanley Cup.
Exactly. We had to get over the hump. The Detroit Lions were the number 1 team in the NFC, had the number 1 record in football, where they were tied with the Chiefs. Like, they had the record.
Hey, you know which one?
And I don't want to hear anything about those damn defensives. I don't want to hear about the defensive injuries.
Oh no, you know which one scars me, and it will probably for my entire life. Aside from, I know it's not playoffs, but trouble with the snap. But LeBron James,
27 in the last 29.
Gibson, 30
Boobie Gibson, good one.
Golly,
that's why anybody who cheers for LeBron James, are you kidding me? Come on.
That one scarred me.
But Shep, all right, even as the one that doesn't like the antics and the extra stuff, because I don't either. But that was one of these. That's a LeBron moment that I can separate my dislike or disdain for a lot that he has done. In that moment, he was effing insane.
He was.
You're right. Like, that was ridiculous.
And the only comeback I have is
and he dunked on Tayshaun Prince and the squad to go to overtime. Like, the best moment.
Wait, he posterized Tayshaun Prince?
Everybody.
Yes.
Wait, Tayshaun Prince got posterized like Jalen Duren?
Tayshaun Prince not 6'10", 245.
No, he was 6'9", 145. Seemingly.
Like,
on a good day.
The best play I think LeBron made in that game is the Pistons. I think Antonio McDyess comes down, gets an and one, makes a free throw. They go up 3 with like 33 seconds, give or take, maybe 37. I'm like, cool. We're up 3. They're not shooting the ball from 3 well. LeBron can't shoot 3, so I'm like, we're good. If they make a 2, we'll get it back. We'll play the trade point. He came up and pulled from damn near half court.
Oh, I thought it was left wing. Yeah, okay.
He came as soon as he crossed half, shot it. It was like 32. I'm like.
And he knew it.
And made it. I said.
Yeah.
Damn.
Say what? Yeah.
It went from like feeling good, this is good, here we go, to, back to the drawing board.
Well, that first song you played must have been angry. We got a little angry times, but we hope you know it's all in from a good place. Man. Yeah, really good spirit. We'll be back with you tomorrow, 2 o'clock here on the Braylon Edwards Show. Don't forget the heavyweights. They're coming up at 5 o'clock. They've got plenty of passion and energy for you here on Woodward Sports. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Let's go.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.